Who are you? Exactly.
I'm Catherine.
Catherine, that's right. Yes. Catherine. And he's Bill.
Yes.
What about me? Who exactly am I?
You're Anthony.
Anthony. Anthony is a nice name. Anthony, don't you think?
Wow, what an amazing and heartfelt scene. It truly summarizes the experience of so many of my patients who have dementia. This is by far the most compelling, true-to-life and heartfelt movie I have ever seen on dementia.
And the Oscar goes to Christopher Hampton and Florian Zeller, the father.
Anthony Hopkins, the father.
My name is Miguel Rivera, and my friends call me Dr. G, and I am a psychiatrist, and my practice is dedicated to helping those who have dementia. And the main character, Anthony, he could be any one of my patients.
And my name is Ganga, and I know quite a bit about dementia from working and living with this guy.
When we meet Anthony, he is already in the moderate stages of dementia, and one of the clues that we have about this is that his daughter Anne is looking for extra help in trying to take care of him.
But where were maybe the early signs when Anne could have said, oh, something is wrong with my dad?
So, for most of my patients, the onset of dementia is insidious. And what that means is that even the family will have some difficulty pinpointing when was it that the symptoms or the first signs really happened. But based on where he is at this moment, I would say that if we asked Anne, she would say, maybe in the last perhaps 3 to 5 years, we started noticing that he was having some problems with short-term memory. Maybe forgetting appointments, having some difficulty paying his bills, maybe forgetting to take his medications. That is a really important subject, and we will definitely dedicate some videos at exploring what those symptoms are and how to recognize them.
Right now, when we meet Anthony, he is in the moderate stages, where one of the prominent signs is his paranoia. Like he thinks that people are stealing things from him.
I suspect she was,
She was what?
She was stealing from me.
Angela? Of course not. What are you talking
I'm
about?
telling you, she stole my watch. Yes.
Your watch?
Yes.
Isn't it more likely you just lost it?
No. I already had my suspicion, so I set a trap for her. I left my watch somewhere in the open to see if she'd pinch it, though.
Where? Where did you leave it?
I don't know and I don't remember. All I know is it's nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. I can't find it. That's your proof. That girl stole my watch. I know she did.
And paranoia is a common symptom as people continue to progress through the stages of dementia. For example, I have a patient, every single night, he hides his wallet. He takes it and stuffs it into one of his shoes or will put it under the mattress. And in the mornings, he is for sure concerned and going, where's my wallet? Somebody stole my wallet. And his caregiver, because he already knows the story, will go and find it and take it out from his shoe. And then the patient will get so upset and say, how did you know that it was in my shoe? You are the one who's been stealing my stuff. So this issue with paranoia, sometimes even extending to family members, that the patient with dementia may believe that the family member is trying to take over their lives or to place them into a facility or to take all their money. This is something that we see very, very frequently.
Which we also see it in the movie when Anthony accuses Anne of wanting to take his apartment and just move him out, and he's super upset about this. And right now when we say stories of someone hiding their wallet, we could smile about them, but for family members it's so hard, just like we see on Anne, that is devastating.
What are you talking about, Dad?
So now she would like to convince me that I really cannot manage on my own, And the next stage will be to send me away. I don't know. Obviously, it'll be a much more efficient way of getting hold of my flat. But it's not going to happen that way. Sorry, dear. I may as well tell you now. I'm not leaving this flat anytime soon. I'm going to outlive you. Both of you. I don't know about you, but my daughter, yes. Yeah. In fact, I'm going to make a point about it. I'm going to...
It is important to not take things personally. And I think that this is one of the things that I am constantly counseling families with, is to not take these changes in personality, the paranoia, the irritability or agitation that frequently accompanies dementia, to not take that personally and to let love continue to guide the way of all the decisions that are made.
Like agitation that you mentioned.
I would say over 90% of the consults who come my way are for some degree of agitation. And here in the movie, it's pretty evident that Anthony is having some issues with the caregivers. Again, this is such a common reason why I get called in. It's because the family has arranged for caregivers to come into the home, and the person with dementia either kicks them out or will not open the door for them, or they can be just rude and physically or verbally aggressive with them. So this is a very, very common scenario in those who have dementia.
Everything all right?
Who are you?
Sorry?
Who are you? What are you doing here? What are you doing in my flat?
Actually, it's me, Paul.
Oh? What are you doing here?
I live here.
You?
Yes.
You live here?
Yes.
You live here in my flat? Oh, that's the best yet. What is this nonsense?
This scene really reminds me of something that happened with one of my patients. This gentleman woke up in the middle of the night, and there was his wife laying next to him. Yet when he looked to her, he did not recognize her and thought that this person there had actually harmed his wife. So he got very, very agitated and actually was very physically aggressive with her, to the point where she had to run out of the house and the police had to be called. But it was all in the setting of him not being able to recognize her. So this cognitive issue of not recognizing people, of being disoriented, of not knowing where they are, can lead to agitation. And this agitation typically progresses as the disease progresses.
The brilliant part of this movie is that we experience Anthony's world through his eyes. We're as much disoriented of which place we are. Is it one day? Is it a week, a year? What storyline is actually true? So when we see Anthony walking into this man and not recognizing him with a fork in his hand, ready to protect himself, we can understand that even if they get agitated and even if they get physically aggressive, which we do not see in the movie, but it does happen in real life, it doesn't come from a place that they just begin to get angry and mean, but they're truly frightened.
Absolutely. And this issue with which I think we all experience when we watch this movie is that it makes us all a little bit disoriented. And this is definitely part of the confusion, this disorientation to person. Like at the end of the movie, Anthony is asking, who am I really? But also to be disoriented to place, to time, and to the situation, where he believes it's his flat. He doesn't quite know what was it that happened, what is the actual sequence in time, and also what his particular situation
I
is.
was making a cup of tea in the kitchen. I was alone in the flat and suddenly I heard a noise like him in here, and there was your husband.
Who?
Your husband.
What husband?
Well, Well, yours, my dear, not mine.
James?
Your husband.
I'm not married, Dad.
I'm sorry.
I got divorced more than 5 years ago, you remember?
Well then, who is he?
Well, who?
Are you doing this on purpose? I'm talking about him who just left with the chicken.
The chicken?
Did you not hand over a chicken to someone a minute ago?
What are you on about, Dad?
Did you not hand over a chicken to someone? A chicken!
What chicken?
A quick aside here. It almost feels as if the chicken is a supporting actor in this movie. And what the scientific data is showing more and more is that our lifestyle choices are really important in the prevention of not just Alzheimer's disease, but also cardiovascular disease, cancer, and so many of the chronic illnesses that afflict our society. So I just wanted to share with you these two books by Dean and Aisha Sherzai. Amazing books. Please pick them up. The Alzheimer's Solution. Check them out. It'll be definitely worth your while.
And plant-based diet is the key.
Well, he was here just now.
I think you're mistaken, Dad. There's no one here.
He's vanished.
Another thing that this scene really brings to mind is he having a visual hallucination. And this is something that can definitely happen in the moderate to severe stages of the disease, or it can also be a presenting or initial symptom in dementias, for example, like Lewy body dementia, where visual hallucinations are actually one of the first symptoms that the person with dementia will get.
Yeah, it's been going on for some time. Strange things going on around us. Haven't you noticed?
We can see how Anthony is so affected by this disorientation. It makes things more complicated because he doesn't have an insight that he has a problem.
So yes, this is the concept of anosognosia, and this is something so prevalent in people with dementia. It's like they don't remember that they don't remember. And so most of my patients, like I will ask them on the initial visit, hey, how is your memory? And most of them say, oh, my memory is just fine. And then we will go through the mental status exam, and they will clearly have some difficulty with the memory test. And then when we finish, I'll say, so how do you think you did? And they say, oh, I think I did pretty good.
Why do you keep looking as if there's something wrong? Everything is fine, Anne. Yeah. World is turning. You've always been that way, a warrior. Whereas your sister, yeah. Where is she, by the way? Have you heard from her? I'm asking you a question.
One more thing that really struck me is that he doesn't remember that his younger daughter and his favorite daughter is gone. She died in a car crash. But Anthony doesn't have recollection of this. And none of the family members remind him of this, which seems to be so wise.
And yes, that is such a good point, and I am so glad that they brought this up in the movie. Just maybe about 2 weeks ago, I did a consult on this lady whose husband had just recently passed. And every single day, she was out looking for him. She could not remember he had died and was constantly looking for him. And the family and caregivers were constantly reminding her that he had died. But every night, she would wake up the next day and not remember and was out looking for him again. And the family kept reminding her, oh, he died. So every single day she was going through that terrible grieving process, that terrible news that he had died. So I recommended to the family to just tell him that he was out in business. And that has made such a dramatic difference.
One of the things that we feel so strongly through the movie is how hard it is on the families. How Anne is looking for a caretaker to help her, and eventually even for a facility, a nursing home, to place him. But it's never an easy decision. And also, Anne is in a privileged position that she has the resources and capacity to hire a caretaker. Many families don't have that. There are some countries where they don't even have a nursing home.
I honestly think you have to come up with a different solution. He's totally lost it.
Stop talking like that.
Well, how do you want me to talk? I'm telling the truth. We have to come up with a different arrangement.
Such as
Put him in an institution.
a home.
Yes, a nursing home.
It is one of the very difficult things that I have to help families in figuring out is when is the time to place somebody? At what point would my loved one be better off in a facility? So in general, there are two main things to look at. Number one is the safety of the person who has dementia. So many of my patients have come to me because they wandered off in the middle of the night. Another example of this is a patient of mine who woke up in the middle of the night, grabbed the car keys, got into the car, and they found them on the next state. He was stopped by the police because he was speeding and he was still wearing his pajamas. The other issue is the mental health and well-being of the family member, so the person who is caring for the loved one with dementia. What the data shows is that those family caregivers who are either depressed or distressed about their job as a dementia caregiver have a 67% higher mortality rate. This is not insignificant, and I think that anyone who is a dementia practitioner will tell you of their experiences of the family caregiver dying before the person with dementia.
So what are you doing here?
Sorry?
What are you doing here?
I'm looking after you.
Oh, you don't say, really? Looking after me? Well, first I've heard of it. Yeah, since when?
Quite a few weeks now.
Oh, a few weeks now. Well, happy to hear it. Amazing. Nobody ever tells me anything in this house.
Meeting Anthony in the nursing home, he still thinks it's his apartment.
I actually have a patient who is in a facility, and he is a company CEO, so a very, very intelligent and high-powered individual. And he thinks that that building belongs to him. And he gets very upset, like if the caregiver's talking on the phone or he doesn't perceive them to be working, he gets very upset at them. So this idea of, again, mixing up reality in their own mind is very prevalent.
Mommy. I want my mummy. I want my mummy. I want to get out of here. Have someone come and fetch me.
No, shh.
No, I want my mummy. I want her to come and fetch me. I want to go home.
What is it, Anthony? What is it?
I feel as if I'm losing all my leaves.
Your leaves?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
The branches and the wind and the rain.
Wow, what an amazing, moving scene this is. And you know, this is exactly what happens with so many of my patients. After layer of memories get lost, they begin to look for their parents. And I would say at least 50% of my patients right now are in this stage of the game where they're constantly looking for their parents.
It's so touching and so nice to see that in this story, the nurse is not trying to convince him of any other truths. She just goes with his story and most importantly, just offers him a human touch, just offers him a hug and some love.
And this reminds me of a story with one of my patients. I remember seeing her in her wheelchair and approaching her, and I got down on my knees so that I could hold her hand and look into her eyes. And at that moment, it occurred to me that she had no idea who I was. But she also had no idea who she was. She didn't know her name. She didn't recognize any of her family members. She could not recall any events in her life. She had nothing in her mind that gave her a sense of identity. Oh, yes, I am this or I am that. But yet, she still was. And even though I could not have a conversation with her, I could still connect heart to heart. And I think that this is really one of the most rewarding aspects of my practice, is this heart-to-heart connection with my patients, that even though we may not be able to communicate in the typical way, but we still see each other in that deeper way. And this is really what guides every step of what I do with my patients, is this connection.
I don't know what's happening anymore. Do you know what's happening? All this business about the flat. I've no way to put my head down anymore. But I know my watch is on my wrist, that I do know, for the journey. If not, I